17. New Year's Eve snuck up on me, but with Dad's trial hanging over us and Gabe still missing, it didn't feel much of a new start. Still, we celebrated as best we could. Cedric came over for dinner after our canvassing, and then Ruby and Mateo showed up with their folks. The adults all had dessert and hung out upstairs while we did our thing in the basement. Supposedly, we were having one of our movie nights down there. I put on Endgame just to make it sound like that's what we were doing, but really we were there to talk about the Gabe stuff. It was like a shift change at the police department, where everyone reports out on what they know about an open case. I started by telling the others how I'd gotten my laptop back, and how even Dad couldn't rule out the possibility that Gabe had been the one ringing our doorbell that night. "You're saying Gabe broke into your house on Christmas Eve?" Ruby asked. "I'm saying it's a possibility," I told her. "Just so he could turn around and give you back your laptop?" "Yeah, that doesn't make any sense," Mateo said. "What about any of this makes any sense?" I said. "Maybe we're just not asking the right questions yet." "Like what kind of questions?" Cedric asked. "Well, if we knew that, we'd be asking them," I said. Cedric doesn't always pay attention all the time, but I wasn't going to be giving him a hard time about it here. He just spent the whole day out on the street with me, and not to mention saving my bacon with Khalil Wieland. "So, what else have we got?" I asked. Mateo picked it up from there. "I called all the hospitals on the list you sent me," he said. "None of them have a patient named Gabriel Qualls, or Gabe, or the initial G. "Thanks for checking anyway," I told him. "Well, hang on, here's the other thing I was thinking," Mateo said. "What if Gabe's in the hospital, but he doesn't know who he is? Like amnesia or something?" Ruby asked. Mateo shrugged. "What if he got knocked upside his head somehow, and he's walking around like one of those, what do you call it? A Jack Doe?" "John Doe," Ruby said. "Whatever," Mateo said. "Amnesia?" Cedric was practically rolling on the floor by now. "Get serious, bro. This isn't a TV show." "I'm just saying, you never know," Mateo answered. "I know you watch too many movies," Cedric said. That was true, too, for all of us. We were always down for anything, Marvel or DC in a pinch, or especially anything scary. The scarier the better, like Get Out or It or the Cloverfield movies, even though we weren't technically allowed to watch R-rated stuff. Nana always said those kinds of movies fed my imagination, and not in a good way. Maybe she was right, but I loved them all the same. Meanwhile, this conversation wasn't supposed to be about movies. This was supposed to be about Gabe, and I needed everyone to stay focused, and I turned to Ruby next. "Where are we with the social media?" I asked, since that was her department now. "Nothing new on Gabe's Instagram," she said. "The last thing he posted was from the day before he disappeared, and that was a picture of some suspension bridge he built in Outpost." "Everything he posts is from Outpost," Cedric said. If you ever wanted to know how Gabe's mind worked, all you had to do was look at his Instagram. It was full of crazy stuff he designed inside the game. There were vehicles, weapons, different kinds of body armor, and even temporary shelters you could fold up and take with you. Sometimes it seemed like Gabe must have spent more time in Outposts than he did in the real world. "The one thing he never posted was a picture of his bunker," Ruby said. "Probably because he didn't want anyone knowing about it," I said. "That's like his private spot." "And you never figured out the combination lock on the door?" Mateo asked. I shook my head. "Still working on it." "Anyway," Ruby went on, "I've been getting some traction on my own Insta with the missing flyer, and we're up to 23 shares on the Facebook page I set up too. That's not bad, but we can kick it way up once we're back in school." "Well, maybe we won't have to," Cedric said. "I mean, maybe Gabe will be back by then. How long has it been anyway?" I didn't have to think about that one. I knew exactly how long it had been. 10 days, I said, and 4 hours, if anyone's counting. Nobody said anything to that. It just kind of sunk in for a minute. They probably didn't know what I knew, that the chances of solving a missing person case goes way down after 3 days because the clues dry up. And here we are at 10. 10 days, I wondered where Gabe was right now, or how cold he might be, or how hungry, or maybe even hurt. And then Mateo spoke up again. "If this was some rich white boy, you know they would have found him by now," he said. "Or like that missing kid on Stranger Things." "Will Byers," I said. I love that show. So did Gabe. I think we watched the season 3 times all the way through. "Yeah, Will Byers from Hawkins, Indiana," Mateo said. "Kid goes missing and everyone acts like the world's ending." Again, Not a TV show, Cedric said, and we all cracked up at that. Maybe we weren't supposed to be laughing, but sometimes you have to. Well, whatever, Mateo said. The point is, Gabe's from Southeast D.C., he's poor, and he's black, which it is enough for nobody to care. Gabe's got no headlines on the news, no search parties, no nothing. I hear that, Ruby said. But you know what he does have? What? I asked. I really wanted to know. Us, Ruby said. I was glad to hear them talking like this. Before Gabe disappeared, I'm not really sure they thought about him that much. But now, it was like the longer they worked on this investigation, the more they really cared, and the more I felt like we had a real live team of our own tracking him down. We're kind of like the Easy Rollins and his Renz L. agency, I said. Who is Easy Rollins? A character in a book, I said. A black detective. Like your dad, Ruby said. Sort of, I said, but really, I meant like me. Didn't say so, though. All right, then, Ruby said. If we're going to do this, let's really do this. We got this, guys. We got this, you guys, Cedric said. 100%, I said. I really did have some awesome friends. And now, more than ever, I was thinking, so did Gabe. Ruby had her hand out, and I put mine on top of hers, and then Cedric and Mateo piled on. For Gabe, I said, and they all said it too. For Gabe.